Sam, I'm going to bring you in because I want to get your feeling on this. It feels like Christmas week, like Christmas week. Your mom, she's out shopping, dad's out shopping, kids are super excited for whatever gifts they've asked for. And they're hoping when they wake up Christmas morning and they go check the tree after mom and dad have had coffee, of course. Don't talk to us after we had our coffee. What is going to be under that tree? Is it going to be a lump of coal? Is it going to be a diamond in the rough? Is it just going to be a Lamborghini? And you're like, this thing is turnkey. I just put the key in. I don't even know how to drive a stick, so I'm not going to give the terminology for driving the Lamborghini. But that's what it feels like right now. We're a week away from the NFL draft. And everybody has – so originally, Sauce Gardner was this question mark. Now he's like a top 2, top 3 pick in the NFL draft and prospect. Stingley Jr. now because of – and this is the thing about the draft. It's a bell curve, Sam. If one guy jumps, the rest of the guys follow suit, just like money. We'll talk about that later with the receivers in the NFL right now. This is a reactive league. When everybody reacts to one move, so the guy comes off the board that they did not expect, everybody else has to react to it. Sam, in my opinion, when you're thinking about the NFL draft right now and who the Vikings can possibly take, there's so many, and I've done a little bit of my research now. I haven't completely gone into the deep end yet, but I've done a little bit. Stingley Jr. seems like the logical pick, but the problem is right now he's possibly the 5th ranked player in this draft. Why? Because quarterbacks this year are not great. Kirk Cousins would be the best quarterback in this draft if he was on the board. He would be taken first, most likely. Not to say Kirk Cousins is bad. Kirk Cousins is good, of course. But this draft just doesn't have a quarterback like a Trevor Lawrence. I would say if the kid from Alabama who won the Heisman, if he was eligible, maybe he would be a little bit higher and highly garnered. But he's not there. He's young. He won the Heisman as a freshman. So this draft is literally like, I have no idea when I unwrap my gifts what I'm going to get. You look at Stingley Jr., you look at Booth Jr., you look at McDuffie, you look at Kyer Elam. It's so many different guys. You look at Kobe Bryant out of Cincinnati. I just like the name. I just wanted to say the name. But Cincinnati, if you think about Fickle and Ohio State and what they've done, they've added some pieces, Sam. I mean, what is your thoughts right now on this draft?
I feel like defense is the logical way to go for the Vikings. And I think you're probably going to have your pick of either a very good edge or a very good cornerback. And like you said, it's reactive. So it depends on which group of players goes off the board first. If there are 3 cornerbacks gone by number 12, you might have George Karlaftis in your lap. If the edges go earlier, you might get someone like a Stingley fall to number 12. But in the back of my mind, Ron, I keep thinking Jameson Williams could be there at number 12. Imagine that wide receiver room if you added a first-round weapon with that number 12 pick. To me, that would be the way to make your offense top 5 in the league, potentially. They need to improve their offensive production. I think that's the path to playoff success. You get Jameson Williams, that's an instant impact player. Suddenly, Adam Thielen is probably either your wide receiver 2 or 3. Williams could be your 2. That is a deep top 3 at wide receiver.
Yeah, and when you look at the NFL draft and you talk about the Vikings possibly taking a quarterback, the answer is no. Like, if you do, the guy I like that I would give a shot to at least, and he's not a fast guy, can't run at all. It's Carson Strong out of Nevada. He's a guy you can get in that same 3rd, 4th round that you got Kellen Mond. The big difference is this is a kid that they know can throw. This is a kid that threw for about 289 passes or 299 passes, something ridiculous before throwing an interception. So this is a kid that's smart, takes care of the ball. He understands the offense. He's a quick learner. He can Peyton Manning that thing at the line of scrimmage. That's a guy that I could see Kevin O'Connell growing. He's built like Kevin O'Connell. He's 6'5". So he is a Peyton Manning-esque kid. He's a pocket passer. I could see that being an option over Mannion as your backup in the future. If Kirk Cousins is the way to go for the next 2 or 3 years, Carson Strong is an easy opportunity to get a quality backup in one of these 3rd, 4th round picks. And it's going to be the first team to jump. So the first team that jumps and takes either Malik Willis or, somebody else off the board, you look at who they possibly can take. And so when getting my offensive guys, I put quarterbacks at the back because I just didn't feel like they mattered. So Malik Willis, Kenny Pickett, Matt Corral. You got Sam Howell. No, I don't like Sam Howell there. I don't like Desmond Ridder there. I put Carson Strong over those two. Now, the big difference is one played at North Carolina, the other in Cincinnati. When you're at Nevada, you're not getting as much pub. But think about Nevada's future or past. When you think about a Nate Burleson, same thing. He was in later rounds. If he's at USC or somewhere else, Nate Burleson's a 1st-round pick probably with that production that he put up in Nevada. And so I just think that this is a draft that the first person to jump up and get Malik Willis, which they're saying it might not be to the late teens or the 20s. If that starts to happen and quarterbacks start to come off and guys are there, I think the Vikings can drop back in 20. Because then, like you're saying, you can get an edge rusher. Now, Deebo Samuels is going to be another one. He's going to be one that's going to question what everybody does. Because now he's asked for a trade at the no return point kind of for his team, because now they need to decide if we're going to trade him, we probably want to get draft capital now so that we can replace him with somebody else and then let him move on. And what team has a high enough pick that's willing to take him, but also what team can use Deebo the way Deebo was used? Now, people are saying maybe the Bears because they let Allen Robinson go. We heard LaVelle Neal talk about that. Could be a suitor, but they had Cordero Patterson and they did not use him properly. So there's so much to this. There's so much going on, so much to unwrap. When you're looking at other guys on this, so you're thinking about the Vikings, you're thinking about the Bears, Lions, and Packers. Other than the Vikings, I see those other two teams. Now, the Lions possibly can go corner too. Now, they're saying maybe Sauce Gardner early. I don't know if I would take him that high. He's not Deion Sanders, in my opinion. But the Packers are probably going to be looking for a receiver too. Deebo Samuel could be their answer, but we already know they gave Aaron Rodgers a ton of money. So what does Deebo want? Probably 126, 150 million? I just don't know who has that money, that cap space, and is willing to take that contract on, but also then give the other team, give the 49ers what they want.